Hi and welcome back. In this module, we're going to talk about UX in terms of how can working in UX and how I found it to be more enjoyable, rewarding, and satisfying than many other roles. Probably the best way to me to sort of set this one out really is to talk a bit about my background up until discovering UX. I'll go into this a little bit more detailed in another video, but actually, just in a nutshell, I'd spent a fair bit of time working in all sorts of different roles, um, administration for an insurance company, holiday rep, salesperson, um, worked in a travel agency, plus many, many more, especially when I was traveling in Australia, going around there, working in all kinds of different roles as I traveled around the country. And the one thing, I really noticed when I moved across into UX was that it really felt a lot different to all the other roles I'd worked in because I was all of a sudden part of a project team which had a mission, and that mission was to create something good or indeed redesign something and make it much better. And that felt really good to be collaborating in a team of like minded people to make a mission critical product or website perform much better. All of a sudden, we seemed to be, it was all about getting on with the job, collaborating with teammates, and we seemed to have support from all manner of the business, just sort of keen for us to be successful because obviously there was a lot resting on our success. And that was a real difference that I noticed when I moved into UX. The other side, as I've already touched on just a little bit about, is the collaboration side of things. Working in a team, it just seemed like, again, there was something very good about working together for a common positive outcome. Whereas many of the roles I'd had previously had been, you might be in a team, but you'd be sort of working a little bit isolated on your own. So this was something I really enjoyed. I think the rewarding aspect is fairly obvious as well, because UX practitioners have tended to be fairly well rewarded, especially as the role has increased in terms of its notoriety and prominence. I think that people are getting generally really well, rewarded for working in UX. Certainly in London, where I've been doing a lot of work, it's been a very well paid role, whether it's working as a contractor or an employee. And now as UX starts to get recognised and make its way up to the higher echelons of management, maybe even on the executive board, at least experienced directors, customer experience directors, the sort of the sky's the limit in terms of the reward that you can get to. So I think it's been fairly clearly established that UX pays quite well, even at the lower levels as entry level, mid levels, and going right up to board level. It's a pretty well paid for career because it's doing a job which is increasing in its demand, as I've talked about. So that's the rewarding side. The satisfying side is also there. Once you've discovered some problems that need to be solved to improve things for the customers and make more money for the organizations who are employing you, the owner of the website, when you have success there and you uncover all sorts of things that the customers are struggling with, and then you can help to translate those into a solution which actually improves those things, or even sometimes introduces brand new features which deliver a whole new range of value to the customers. And sometimes it can be, just as simple as making them be able to buy a product more quickly. But other times it can genuinely be digital solutions which make their lives massively better, and can really help. Not to go too extreme, and it's not an exaggeration to say some of the solutions that you can work on can actually lead to greatly improving the standard of living for people, and sometimes even in certain products can actually be life-saving solutions. So that's an area where I think a lot of people find working in UX, all of a sudden they come from this this role for a big corporate, for example, just in business, constantly under pressure, constantly having to, hit targets, but never actually getting much satisfaction in the role. I really think that UX is definitely brings with it a fairly high degree of job satisfaction. I'm not saying every project is perfect, and there are plenty of tough ones out there, but nonetheless, the essence of what you're doing is collaborating with a team, finding out problems, coming up with a solution, executing on that solution, collaborating with your developers. All in all, it's a very, a very rewarding, enjoyable role, which, as I say, I found to be very satisfying as well. So I hope that's given you a bit of insight about my take on this, and why so many people find it a lot different to many other jobs out there. But I'd be, very happy to hear your comments, your thoughts. Please do get in touch if you have any observations, or if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. So that's it for this module, and I'll be back soon with the next one. Thank you.